48 Loadmaster here. I've got the truck. It's pulled out of the shop. After having low oil pressure, I decided I'm not going to go any further with that engine. I'll get it pulled out. But there's other things that I want to do, and that is explore what engine swaps to do. I already have here in my shop, this is a Ford V10, a 2-valve V10 out of a bus. I have all the wiring harness and pretty much everything to get it running. So that's one option I've been throwing around. Also over here I've got, which you can't see it's underneath there, and it's a small block Ford 347 that I have brand new aluminum heads for. But I wanted to talk about engine swaps and chassis swaps today. And so right here is kind of my list for a chassis swap. I would like a front solid axle, a 2-wheel drive chassis, prefer a front leaf springs, dually rear, and the front width of the outside tires need to be about less than 75 inches to clear my fenders. So that's kind of one of the criteria I'm looking for, some of the criteria, and here's what I've narrowed it down, is the F Super Duty, which is an F450 made, I don't remember the years exactly, it was about 86 or 87 to 97, and those came with either 7.3s or 460s. They had a solid front with a leaf spring. I used to have one. The big downside to those are limited wheels. They've got this oddball 16-inch 10 lug, and there's not a whole lot of options for larger wheels on it. Someone's told me to go look at this Chevy 3500, 4500, and I've been looking and I haven't been finding exactly what I'm looking for. So if you know of what years to be looking for that would meet this criteria in a Chevy 1-ton or 1.5 tons, let me know in the comments, because I'm looking for them and I'm having a hard time. The other option is to leave the stock frame and do some sort of a suspension swap. The rear axle is easy enough to do. The front, it gets a little more, it can be done, but it's just more work because you got all the gearbox and all the other stuff to mount up. But let me know what you think on these three truck options here, really the 2 truck options. And if you know of others that would kind of meet my criteria, let me know in the comments. I could really use your help. So the next thing I'm talking about is what engine to put in here. And for my short list has been a Ford 300. You know, I kind of wanted to stay with the straight 6, keep it simple, you know, carburetor, 4-barrel carburetor, you know, basic points distributor, keep it easy. But then also people have said to, you know, look into the Chevy 292, which I don't know as far as aftermarket parts on it. I just don't know enough about them. So if you've got information on this, let me know in the comments, because it'd really be beneficial. The other things I just talked about here, I have a 347 that I took out of a Ford Ranger swap that I did years ago. It's completely built. It's got a main girdle on the bottom of it. It's got forged bottom end and forged pistons, and I have brand new AFR heads to put on it. The downside to this one is I built this thing for racing. I zero-decked the block. The compression was really high. I was having a hard time getting it to run and not ping. And so I want something that I can drive on pump gas. And it may not be the solution, because I bought the new AFR heads because they have a larger combustion chamber going from a 60cc to a 64. I probably should have spent the money and got all the way up to the 72s to really solve my compression issue. But I had a hard time with the old 60 cc's running and pinging. The other down here at the bottom is my Ford V10 that I've got. I completely rebuilt this before COVID, new pistons, the crank was turned, all that stuff, everything's new. The big limits on this one is there's virtually no aftermarket support. And with the aftermarket support there is, it's limited to like a couple sets of headers. And so I'm basically forced to either run the stock ignition, the stock computer and all that stuff, and I got to hack the wiring harness, which is going to be more complex. I could probably get it done, but it's going to take time to do it. It'd be a great truck engine. I have a 3-valve Ford V10 in my 1-ton dually, and it does just fine with everything I need. The other big downside to it is how wide those engines are. They're not the typical small blocks, the 350s, 347s. They are narrower, and so you have more room underneath the hood for for all your other clearances. So it might be a problem to use the Ford V10, but I don't know. Let me know what you think on that. And then over here, you know, if I get the right chassis swap, so if I found the Chevy 3500, 4500, the right years that met my criteria, it may already have a 292 or maybe even a Chevy 350. I know the 350 parts are dirt cheap. You can get pretty much anything you want for them. I don't have either one of those engines already, so I would have to buy engine and transmission and do all of that. So I don't know. I don't have a Ford 300 either. I've always liked the Ford 300s. I'd like the option to maybe turbo one later on. So those are kind of some things that I'm looking at right now. I'm waiting to go buy some of these parts trucks, you know, to find out exactly what I want, to make sure it fits all my criteria. And then also I'm waiting for the title to come back on my Loadmaster before I start sinking a bunch of money into it. So I want to make sure that I get the title resolved first. So in the meantime, hit me up. Let me know what options that are out there that meet this criteria: solid front axle, two-wheel drive, front leaf springs, dually rear, and front width about less than 75 inches. So if you know of something that would meet that criteria, let me know, and I'll start looking to see if I can find one locally. Thanks for watching.